Hey guys, welcome back to the Pursuing Excellence podcast. I'm your host Jaden. I know it's been a while since I did the episode, but just had a lot going on with school and everything like that. But I'm back here today, February 10th, 2023. With another episode and some things on my mind I want to share with you guys today on the podcast. Hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you check us out here on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast is where we're at. So make sure you check us out there, give us a subscribe, like, comment your thoughts in the comment section on YouTube, and make sure to share it with your friends. Mainly what I want to talk about today is the concept of reaction versus response. This is just something that we as people struggle with. A lot. We all do. We're all guilty of it. And it's a way that if you go about things in different situations, one of these two ways you will yield two different results depending on which way you go about it, right? So, for example, if you're in a situation where things escalate to a high level, where it's getting out of control or something like that, and you can either react, or you can respond. There's a difference, and when I say react, I mean like, of course, yelling back at them, trying to get in a shouting match with whoever it is, whatever the case might be, or reacting physically, where that's fighting or something like that. Like those, just the concept of providing a get back, like a response, a reaction to something. I can't think of another word without using the word reaction, but that, and that's not always the best way to go about things, because in the end of the day, I mean, you're doing that out of, you're not thinking, you're just doing it out of quick, reflexes. That's all you're doing. It's just a reflex. It's just a combat. It's stimuli is what it is. And your brain's basically like, you're not controlling your mind to the point where, hey, let's evaluate the situation. Let's assess it. Let's see what the problem is. And let's see if we can fix it, and critically think on how to fix the problem. But instead, you're reacting out of just out of emotion, whether it be emotion, or peer pressure, or whatever the case might be, depending on whatever the situation is. But the point is, overall, you can't. That's not the best way to go about everything. If a situation is at the point where you are still able to control it and keep it mediated, then keep it that way. Respond. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about this. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this. Let's see what's going on. Let's figure out what's going on and get this fixed. Or whatever the situation might be. Right. I mean, because as people now, see, what does everybody want to do now? They want to pull out weapons, right? And react. If which is a big problem, in our world. And obviously, if a situation calls upon it for you to do so, then yeah, you would retaliate the right way. But at the same time, like if it's still, like I said, if it's a calm, if the situation has not risen to that point where where you might have to, get in a shouting match or fight or pull out a weapon, whatever the case may be, like, then, and you have a somewhat grasp and control over it, then keep it that way. Like, that's my thought on it, because at the end of the day, like, that's only going to make things worse for you and the other person or other people or whoever else is involved. It's just always going to build and build and build and build until you cannot do anything to bring it back down. So that's the big thing to me. And the Bible always says, be slow to anger, quick to listen, right? Slow to speak, quick to listen, and that's huge, right? Because it's very important. Don't be quick to just, retaliate out of just pure emotion or anger, or just, just because you want to, you want to feel a sense of relief right away or whatever. Like, no, like, listen, evaluate what's going on, assess the situation and handle it the proper way. And that's the big thing that we all have to continue to work on, as people. It's something we struggle with every day, and I encourage everybody to, just continue to work on that. I'm doing it myself too. It's something that we all have, like I said, we all have to continue to improve and get better at. It's reaction versus response. Now, again, responding to something completely different. You're using your brain, you're using your mind. You're assessing the situation. You're thinking, okay, what are my best tactics here? What do I need to do? What I need to do to calm this person down? Or what do I need to do to get this situation to de-escalate? Or what, do I need to make a call, or do we need to go somewhere private and speak, or whatever is going on, or, you know, um, say, yeah, like say you get a flat tire or something, are you going to react out of anger and you're just going to kick stuff around and, or just waste time doing that, or you're going to respond, say, you know what, okay, this is not good, but you know what, we're going to fix this. I'm going to get the tools out from the car from the back, and we're going to fix this, or I'm going to call somebody, wherever the case may be, and that's how you handle that situation, right? It's a big difference between these two, and we have to understand the importance of that difference, because depending on how you handle us, depending on if you go either a reaction or response to a situation, your results will be two different things. And if you go the former way versus the latter, then that result will be it could be catastrophic and disastrous, which is something that you don't want. That's something you don't want at all. And so none of us want that, right? We don't want problems. I'm not personally myself. I'm not a person who wants issues or problems. I try to avoid them because it's not a good thing. If I'm in a situation where things are getting kind of out of hand, like, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's mediate the situation. Let's calm it down. Let's assess the problem. Let's see what we can do to handle it, or come to a compromise and see what we can do. Versus just, oh, what? No, like it just fighting or whatever, like, because it leads to nowhere, at the end of the day, because nothing is getting accomplished, nothing is getting done to fix whatever's going on, whatever is causing the situation to boil that way, so that's at the end of the day, because if you want the situation to be solved, then handle it and, respond accordingly, because if you assess it and you retaliate correctly, then I guarantee you that problem will get fixed much sooner than versus you just reacting just out of out of a blank mind, just reacting. You know, that's not just mindless reaction. That's not good. And that's again it's something we all struggle with, something we need to keep working on. Everybody does. We all do it. But it's just continue to just make that effort to again to assess what's going on, critically think, using our critical thinking skills and critically assess what's going on, and handle the situation the right way. Because we live in a world now where nobody wants to do that. People just act before they think, and that's not good. Whether they're in the car or in the restaurant or the road, wherever they are, they don't want to. They act before they think. And that's not good. Or they don't think before they speak. Which is another big problem. But that's just my take on it. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments about that. But again, just remember that, if you're taking notes, just that keyword reaction versus response, just reaction versus response. Think about that. Just replay that in your head for a minute. Replay that in your head. Think about it, and just keep that on the back burner in your mind, because again, it could very well, it could save your life one day. How you control a situation or scenario and handle it could end up saving your life versus you reacting to it, or responding the right way, so that's the big thing about that. But so switching gears to our next segment here in the podcast, I'm going to talk about just letting things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Again, that's another big thing. Like I think honestly, we get greedy as people, and we want things to just, like we want to control the way everything's supposed to happen. I've touched on this in previous podcast episodes before, hearing glimpses here and there, but the overarching theme of it is that, let things happen the way they're supposed to happen, and we don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. We don't want to do that. We want things done on our time and our way, and, in our place, all that kind of stuff. And that's just really at the end of the day, that's just not how life works, because it's not going to happen that way. It's going to be on God's timing, or, whoever, which your religion is, I'm just saying, that whatever that case may be for you. But personally, for me, I know that it's going to happen on God's time for me, and it's something that we have to continue to just, constantly preaching in our heads every day, like, this is going to happen on God's time. And, like, we don't want to hear that. We want it to happen now or this or that. We don't want it to happen this way and that way, at this place, at this time, and, in this format. But it's like, that's not how it works. God's going to be, if you're ready for something, he's going to give it to you, and if you're not ready, he won't give it to you. That's something that we just have to accept and learn, for ourselves. I mean, 'cause you think about it, at the end of the day, if you want a new car, but say you're not ready for that new car financially, God's saving you, because if you go out there and try to get this new car that you want, but you end up in debt or whatever, and you end up in a bad financial situation, to put in the terms, then you're gonna be wishing that you just didn't jump out in the water like that, in cold feet. And that's what I feel like God's trying to save us from, from trouble when he does that. We don't understand it, in the moment, they're here and there, but sometime down the road, we'll understand it better. We'll understand, oh, that's why I didn't get this till then, or I didn't meet this person till then, or whatever that situation might be. I didn't get this job until this time because of this. That's why God was doing that for my own good. And he always looks out for us. He looks out for his children. We are his children. He will always look out for us. It may not be in the way that we want it to be done, or the way, or in the time, and in the time format that we want it to be done. But it is for our own benefit, it is for our own good. And at the end of the day, so that's about. You know, so yeah, I mean, we don't want to hear it, right? We don't want to hear that at all. But it's just like, that's just what it is. Like, I mean, you know, it's just, it all goes back to patience, man. Having patience, having that trust and faith in that, and that, the right path is going to open up for you when it's supposed to. But at the same time, still going out there to make the effort to open up those, to open up that path, right? Still making that effort out there, instead of just staying stagnant in one place. I tell people this all the time, like, if you stay stagnant, nothing will ever get done. If you stay stuck like cement, you're not gonna get anything done. You're not gonna go where you want to go. You're not gonna be who you want to be, because you're just staying in one place, just grounded, into the dirt. That's not good. You want to be able. You want to be flexible. You want to be able to move. You want to be able to just be interchangeable, right? That's the big thing to me. And like I said, we're all working on it, all constantly trying to improve each and every day. And every day is a chance to be better. Every day is a chance to improve. It's another opportunity. Every day that you wake up and you're breathing, you have the opportunity to make that day great and make it productive. And that's what at the end of the day, that's what it is, to me. As long as God's letting me wake up, I'm breathing, I'm alive, I'm well, I can move, I'm healthy. Like, this is a day where I've got to make it count. I got to get something productive done and continue to just improve in every aspect of my life. So, but again, it all falls back under that thing of just, having trust, man, and just knowing that God's going to take care of you, no matter what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get, who you're trying to be. Like, it just may not happen on your timing. That's a tough thing we all don't want to hear, but it's true. Not everything is going to happen on our timing. It's going to be on God's timing. So it's going to boil down to battling the flesh, and battling those lustful desires, in any concept. It doesn't have to be, it can be any type of lustful desires, whatever it might be, and just fighting it, continue to fight it, and having control over that, having control and having the patience. And hey, what's gonna happen for me, it's gonna happen when I'm ready for it, when God's ready for it to happen to me, or when He's ready for me to have this or that. I'm gonna continue to do what I'm supposed to do, pray, continue to get after it, keep getting better every day. Like, that's ultimately what you got to do. Like I said, I'm not sitting here I'm not a hypocritical preacher or anything. I'm working on this too, and so it's something that we're working on together as people. I feel like if we put our minds together, put our skills together, instead of hating and fighting each other, and put the great minds together that God gave us, we could do anything. I mean, that's the great, like, that's so big, that's so important. Think about just sit here and think about this. Think about what could happen if we all put our minds together, and band it together and do what we could, using all of our different talents and abilities and skills that are unique to ourselves that God gave us, and use it for the greater good of the world instead of using them separately for selfish desires or for wrongdoings, for killing or stealing or doing this. Like, why are we doing this to each other when we should be banding together during the dark times of our world? And I think these times especially calls for togetherness. And so that's a huge part of it. So, but again, key concepts for today: reaction versus response. Right? Don't react, respond. Handle the situation the right way, and it's gonna get solved. Right? Then we talk about letting things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Being patient, trust God's timing. Right? That's what we talk about. And then with that, and then of course, just you know, band together. Let's band together. Like encourage someone. Lift somebody up, encourage them. You never know how someone might be feeling. So encourage them. Let them know, like, hey man, like you have a great day or whatever. Sometimes a smile can do it. Because again, we live in this world together. We're all gonna die in this world together. So we might as well just try to make it suitable. So that's just my take on it. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Pursuing Excellence podcast. Glad to be back on. We're going to keep spinning episodes out for you guys, and make sure you check us out for our next episode. It's going to be a good one. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a good time, and we will see you next time on Pursuing Excellence. I'm your host, Jaden. Thank you.